Okay, it is Wednesday the 9th of September, and we are going to start working with the equation of lines in slope-intercept form. We're going to find the x and y intercepts, and then we're going to change it into standard form. And there's something special. There are no fractions and no decimals allowed in standard form. So you got to be careful about that. Okay? No fractions. So we're going to start off with something that doesn't have fractions in the first place. How about y equals negative 5x plus 3. Okay. We know the slope is negative 5, and we know that 3 is the y-intercept. So whenever I say find the x-intercept and the y-intercept, we already know the y-intercept. Bada bing, bada boom. We're done. The y-intercept is 3. Right? And then to find the x-intercept, if you remember, we did this once before. We have just a generic sentence. If I want to find what x equals, I have to subtract the b. Right? What x equals whenever we're on the x-intercept, which means y is 0. So y is 0 whenever we're looking for the x-intercept. And you have to subtract the b, which leaves us with negative b equals mx. And then you have to divide by m. So that's the x-intercept. Right? We know that every point on the line is something comma 0, like 2 comma 0, 5 comma 0, whatever. Y is always 0 when you're looking for the x-intercept. So if y is 0, then I'm going to subtract 3. And I have negative divided by negative. Do not be that person that writes that down. That is not the x-intercept. The x-intercept is, negative divided by negative is positive. So your answer is 3/5. If you want a decimal answer, then you can write it as a decimal. So the x-intercept is, we're going to get rid of those minus signs. Negative divided by negative is positive. So the x-intercept is 3/5. Right? Now then, if I want to write it in slope in a standard form, which is what it says right here, I want it in standard form. Remember, standard form looks like this. ax plus by equals c. What does that mean? That means the x's and the y's both have to be on the left, and the 3 has to be by itself. So look, if I start with y equals negative 5x plus 3, and I want to move this guy over here, all I'm going to do is just add it. So I'm going to add 5x to both sides. 5x to both sides. That makes this go away. 3 is over here by itself, like I want. See, I want the number at the end to be by itself. And then I have 5x plus y. In fact, you can write 1y. So it looks just like this. There's a number in front of x, a number in front of y, and then a number at the end. This is standard form for that equation. So we did everything. We found the x-intercept, we found the y-intercept, and we found standard form. That's all we had to do. So now let's do one that has fractions in it. Because like we said, ain't no fractions allowed. So we got to get rid of the fraction. So what if we started with something as wonderful as this? Negative 3/5 x, let's say plus 6. Why not? Okay. So to find the y-intercept, we know the y-intercept already. The y-intercept is the number that's at the end, so the y-intercept is 6. Done. Remember what we said about the x-intercept. The x-intercept, we have to take the opposite of b, which is going to be negative 6. So let's move it over here so we can see what we're doing. Remember, when you find the x-intercept, you are in fact putting y equals 0. So if 0 is here, then I'm going to subtract 6, and I'm going to have negative 3/5 x equals negative 6. Now then, I have to divide by this. So let's go back to 5th grade for a minute. We're going to be dividing by this fraction, right? Well, when you divide by a fraction, you really multiply by the reciprocal. So negative 6 times 5/3. Yay! Negative times negative. Remember, in 5th grade, you have to multiply the top times top. So negative times negative is positive 30 divided by 3. That means 10 is the x-intercept. So that's what we got. 10 is the x-intercept. And y, 6 is the y-intercept. So if we wanted to graph it, we just go out to 10, up to 6, draw the line, right? Okay, so now the tricky part, I guess, for some people is to write it without fractions. Well, there's a special thing that you can do. We're going to call it math magic. You can make the fractions disappear if you multiply everything here by the denominator. So math magic means multiply everything by the denominator. All right. So if I multiply everything by 5, look what happens. 5 times y is 5y. 5 times this is negative 15 divided by 5. Remember, you only multiply the whole number times the top of the fraction. The bottom stays the same. And then plus 6. Now, remember, I told you it was magic. The fraction's supposed to disappear. You say, no, there's a fraction. No, there's not. Because 15 divided by 3, that's negative. The 15 divided by 5 is negative 3. So, lo and behold. Now, our job is just like this other one. You have to add 3x to both sides. So, if I add 3x over here, and if I add 3x right here, they go away. So look what I have. I have exactly what I want. I've got the fraction that doesn't have any, the standard form that doesn't have any fractions or decimals. Let's do one more with fractions just to show you. We don't have to do the whole thing. We'll just do this part. So what if we had y equals, so we could do positive 2/3 x minus 12. Why not? We'll do it like that. Okay, so remember the first step is to multiply everything by whatever the denominator is. Well, that's 3. So 3 times y is 3y. 3 times that is 6 over 3x. 3 times that is 36. Yep, sure is. And then divide this out. 3y equals 2x minus 36. 36, there we go. And now, if I move the x to the other side, I'll have negative 2x. I'll have positive 3y, and I'll have negative 36. This is standard form. Okay? Now, all we had to be able to do, if you remember, we were just finding the x and y intercepts and then putting it into standard form. So I did standard form 3 times. I did x and y intercepts twice. You should be able to do the homework on today's little worksheet. That's it. Bye-bye.